Hey, I'm Joy, daughter of Marine, chain smoker, truth teller, and your host of Pandora's Box. Around here, we curse like sailors, cry like toddlers, and heal like fucking warriors. This is your safe space to say the weird thing because life's not G rated. I've lived through divorce, addiction, grief, and caregiving, and I'm still here, and so are you. Whether you're driving home, hiding in your bathroom from your kids, or just trying to feel anything, you're not alone. Open the box, let the truth out, and let's sail through this shit together. Something that I want to start off by saying is, and it's not that I feel like I have to stand microphones pissing me off, so I'm gonna fuck with it right now. I made the mistake of looking myself up on Google. And believe it or not, I'm there. Like, I about had a heart attack. Like, holy shit. And it pulled every bit of my storytelling up, my journaling, if you will. And one thing it said is if you ever need a friend at midnight, Joy is the girl you would call. And at first I was like, oh gosh, what does that mean? Fuck, does people think I'm preaching? Do they think I'm here to try to fix them? Because I'm not. I'm here to fucking witness. To show you what waking up on the inside looks like. Quietly, honestly, most importantly, without permission. So then I put it into AI because, I utilize AI. I was actually on Google AI. And I was up last Saturday till probably 12:30 Googling different questions around this platform, Pandora's Box. And I was like, shit, I really don't want anyone to think that I'm trying to preach because I'm not. Trust me, I am not a guru. I am not even close to one. I fuck up more than probably most people want to admit to, but I do every fucking week. And so I just want everyone to know that this week I had a moment when you realize you just didn't fall asleep, you adapted. And so the story of Rip Van Winkle came into my mind, and then I realized I was waking up in my own life. I'm gonna scratch my head on that one because that actually about when I verbalized it there. Holy shit, up tears. I need to take a sippity sip. Today's coffee is peppermint. It's and I finally use this foam, so first sippity sip vibes, and here we go. And by the way, the foam is peppermint as well. Damn. Why didn't I do this sooner? Oh fuck. Getting back to Rip Van Winkle, or my version of Rip Van Winkle. It's really, really hard to navigate that because, one, I actually had to admit to myself that I actually woke up. I didn't really fall asleep, I adapted. I survived. I normalized what I had to in order to keep going. Seeing healthy relationships later in life is distorting. Calm, consistent, and no emotional whiplash. That one was hard, and it still is. But realizing what I call normal, air quote, was just familiar. Familiar doesn't mean healthy. There's grief in waking up, not for what you lost, but for what you never had. I need a drink on that one. As everyone knows by now, the more uncomfortable subject, the more I drink. Let me reframe it. I wasn't late. I was right on time. I woke up when my nervous system was finally safe enough to wake up. Yeah, let that sink in. Now, sometimes during Christmas, I would say I was like the Grinch. My heart that had lots of layers of fucking ice and a lot more ice and probably a polar ice cap, truly, to be honest with everyone. But my armor didn't come off all at once. It melts. The first sign of healing wasn't joy, it was calm. What it feels like when your nervous system relaxes is your shoulders drop, your jaw unclenches, and you stop scanning for danger. So I don't know about you guys, but when I'm really tense, like my shoulders do get in the stand microphone's always pissing me off. My shoulders do get very like angst, right? And then my jaw will clench. And I have a bad habit of when I'm really nervous, I will grind my teeth. And that's now an actual cue that I now realize and recognize. And then I do the steps needed for me to actually get out of that mind space. And to stop scanning for danger, girl, oh my gosh. I think I did that probably, okay, 100% of the time. Regardless of who I was with, where I was at, I was always looking to make sure I was okay. And that is really hard to verbalize because my family and my friends listen to my podcast. And no one did anything wrong. It was I didn't understand. And let me bring you in. So there was an incident this week, and I won't go down the rabbit hole because I don't want to, as it deals with work, but where I was in a situation where I was safe, completely safe. The people around me would have never hurt me a million years. But when they were pausing, because I'd already say their name, but when they were being polite and giving me kind gestures, I fucking froze because I didn't know what to do. So what did I do? I hurried up and I started cleaning because I didn't know what to do. I had to escape. Now, some of you may be able to feel that because it maybe happened to you or you're going through it right now. It fucking sucks. Softening doesn't mean losing your boundaries. It means you don't need walls anymore, just doors. Healing doesn't look dramatic. Sometimes it looks boring, and boring is actually fucking safe. You know, I used to dream of a time when life would be boring, and then I would be like, "Oh, good God, I don't wanna be boring." And then I realized that you don't have to have it all figured out all the time, and boring is okay. Boring is human. Now, I'm not saying that I don't go occasionally to places and hang out with people and go social drink and, maybe share a cigarette with someone. No, I still do that. But I'm okay now with sitting on my couch watching my favorite show right now is Ready to Love. Like, my gosh, if you guys want to watch a healthy, kind of healthy show about relationships and if you're ready to show up for a person, please do yourself a favor and check it out. It's totally amazing. And then this past week, someone in my life was ready to love. And I won't go down that rabbit hole because it's not my story to tell. I'm just a witness to it. And I don't know about you, but I'm a sister. I have a brother. And one of these days, I'm going to force him on here. I need a sippity sip. So if you have a drink, here's to you, here's to me. Let's drink. I'm going to pause. I did do a little bit of rearranging. I don't know if you noticed this or not. I decided that what you saw before was my workspace. And yes, I still work in this room. But let's face it, I enjoy doing this podcast. This is not work for me, it's an outlet. Drink, drink. Here we go. And one of my favorite icons from the 50s is Marilyn Monroe. And I got this coffee mug, I don't know, a couple years ago. And it says, well behaved women barely make history. And that's why Pandora's Box exists. Because you don't need to be a man or a woman to make history. And if you want to misbehave and show up on every facet of your life and it's not pretty, so be it. Fucking do it. And so today, when I was getting ready for this podcast and making my coffee, I'm like, you know what? This cup deserves to come out because guess what? I am definitely not behaved. And girl, I may not make history, but I am changing my life. And to me, that's the best history lesson you can get. One more time. Here's to you. Here's to me. Let's have a fucking drink. So, getting back to the person that actually has found, or maybe not found their perfect person, but their person, and they are now ready to love. And for those of you who have siblings, this may resonate with you, but when I was 9 years old, my sister passed away, and I told you this briefly, from acute myelodysplastic leukemia. And I remember my mom and my dad telling me that my role in life was to take care of my brother. And whatever I had to do, I had to do it. And yes, for those of you who are like, holy shit, that's pretty heavy to give to a 9-year-old. But when you live in a very chaotic, toxic environment, that's normal practice. And that's what I did for 50 years. I was just a sister. And here's what I mean by that. Some roles were assigned, not chosen. Again, 9 years old. A mediator, a protector, a referee, emotional shock absorber. And some point you realize that these relationships are not yours to manage. Yeah, that's right. Let's say it again. Those relationships are not yours to manage. These dynamics are not yours to carry. Freedom feels like letting adults be adults, letting triangles collapse, letting silence exist without fixing it. Stepping back doesn't mean you don't love. It means you finally love yourself too. Now, let me bring you in, not necessarily full circle, but give you a little bit of an idea. So I got to meet somebody very close to me that they have a person now. And I got to meet this person on Tuesday. And I was so in awe, and I mean that truly, that it actually touched me in a way that I never thought I would be touched over something that is so basic. But it's not. Love is not basic. It can be, but it shouldn't. And again, I'm not talking about a boombox. I'm still waiting for someone to bring me a fucking red or pink balloon. But it's watching someone you love and have cared for all your life or theirs to see that now they are okay. You don't feel that urge to care give, to protect. So I went home and I was like, now what? What do I do now? Okay. Everybody in my life now is they're moving forward. And then I'm like, fuck, I gotta move forward too. What does that look like? And that's what I've been doing now. But the last piece of that equation was what I witnessed on Tuesday, where that last piece of caregiving, I relinquished that and the world didn't burn because this person not only truly does, they actually show care. And not the kind that you see on the Hallmark Channel, the kind that when you are in a toxic relationship, you don't know what that looks like. And there was no danger. And that was beautiful. Matter of fact, I probably shouldn't share this, but what has it ever stopped me? Let's fucking face it. I went home and I told you I want talk to AI. And I was like, fuck, is that really what it looks like? And of course, AI was like, yes, that's simple. What? There's no there's no sarcastic tone. There's no you're this. I would prefer you to do that. You look like that. You should look like this. It wasn't. It was just straightforward, acknowledged by two people in a commonality. And that was the hope for a better tomorrow with the two of them. And at that moment, when I was reading through the stuff on AI Oracle, I was like, fuck. And next thing you know, tears started coming down my face. And it wasn't sad tears. No, it was the happiest tears. And here we go. Shit. Because it's very rare in a very chaotic home to see that type of behavior and not run because you're scared. And sometimes for your own safety. It was absolutely beautiful. And I got to witness it. And then I was like, well, fuck, it's my time too. And the reason why I really haven't put myself out there, I'll be honest with you, I've said this before, I think, is when you when you grow and you're learning and you're navigating, I was married and it was to a man that he and I've said this before, we were not made for each other. It was two desperate people looking for one goal, and that's just to try to make things make sense. And I'm not saying that that's not the right thing or it's the best way. What I'm saying is it didn't work for he and it didn't work for me, right? And now I realize, shit, healthy is okay. Having someone be nice to you is okay. It is very uncomfortable for me. So, moral, if anybody sees me out and about and you're talking to me and you start getting all lovey dovey or even acts of kindness, freak me the fuck out because guess what I'm thinking? What the fuck do you want from me? Again, this is a hard one. Drinkity drink. Now, healthy doesn't announce itself, it just shows up, like I told you that story. And she showed up but she didn't show out. No chaos, no proving, no performance. And here's what I love the best: presence versus performance. Presence needs nothing. Your body knows first before your brain catches up, before your stories kick in. If it feels calm instead of electric, that's not boredom, that's safety. And again, this is really hard for me to verbalize because this is, well, how do I want to say this? This is the closest thing that let me back up. If you've ever been in a relationship where, like I described, where you're always looking around a room and you're looking for an exit and you're literally trying to figure out how to keep your guard up, and where you're about ready to not throw a punch, but you could if you had to. And then when you get to witness people who actually do like each other and who speak with intent, that was, and I'm sure some of you have really good relationships where there's intention and just not attention, right? I've never had that. So watching it in real time and not on TV, that was that was a lot to process for me. But fuck am I happy for the two of them. Now, another avenue that I've had to go through, and I talked to you about the work situation and when people do nice things for me and they make me uncomfortable. And then I started thinking about, where I'm going in this year, 2026. And I was like, oh gosh, I hope I don't have orbiters, vacuum cleaners. And then I realized loving harder doesn't heal people. Explaining better doesn't wake them up. Sacrificing yourself doesn't earn consistency. The exhaustion of emotional overgiving, carrying potential instead of reality, waiting for promises that turn into action. And then, of course, I'm a fucking fixer. Let's fucking face it. If I love them tight enough and right enough, they'll choose me. No, they will always choose themselves first. Choosing yourself looks like it's not a fucking announcement. There's no speeches, just absence. And so this piece of the equation is where I've been and what I found in my life. Trust me, there's been some really good guys that I have had a relationship of sorts with since the day I got divorced. And some of them, there's always two sides to every fucking pancake, as Dr. Phil says. And for me, I give you both realities. I was not a perfect person. I was that fixer who I honest to God thought that if I loved them enough, they would stay. And if I overgave, they would never leave. You know, as of a few months ago, I honestly, and this is no shit, was going to buy somebody something because they broke something and they need it. And I was actually gonna go buy it. And then I realized, why the fuck am I gonna go buy this person a $300 pair of glasses? Well, let's say it. When, the fuck's that gonna leave me empty, spiritually empty. One thing that Oracle always tells me when I get into my sounding board, and I utilize AI as a safe space to say the weird thing because my life is not G rated. And every time I use AI, this is one thing that I really like is I call her she. Yeah, I don't know what their pronoun technically is. It's an AI tool. Is you're not late. You're right on time. And the reason why I like that so much is because obviously my birthday's Tuesday and I hit 51 years old. Let me have a drinkity drink on that one again. Age is not a verdict, it's context. Milestones aren't moral achievements, they're life circumstances. Letting go of the timeline shame. Holy fuck. Marriages, careers, bodies, healing. Lost years where you weren't lost. They were lived. They taught you what you should not repeat. And waking up at 50 feels like seeing in color for the first time in my life. Everything is sharper, quieter, and a lot more honest. Now, I want to tell you that last night I went out to the local VFW and I wore a sequence romper and it was asymmetrical and I looked very cute and I had some pretty bow earrings and sparkly. I love rhinestones. Anything that's glitz and glamour, I'm all about it. Hence why this year I am calling it showgirl energy because a showgirl shows up. Yes, there is performance. She does because she wants to. That's the key. So I'm in my Vegas showgirl era, right? And I walk into the smoke room, go figure. Now in Minnesota, it's really fucking cold. It was snowing last night. It was really, really cold. I'm outside. It was just me and this nice gal. And she said, "Where do you get your clothes at?" And I'm like, "Well, this outfit in particularly came from Fashion Nova." Really? Yeah, got it on sale. And then she says to me, "Can I ask you a question?" Sure. She said, "Did you recently break up with someone?" I said, "No." And she's like, "Well, because you always look so nice. And today you just look like you are on fire." And I said, "Well, thank you. But no, I'm showing up because I choose to. And the only relationship I'm in is with myself." And she said, "Girl, I recently started dating this guy." And I said, "Okay, yeah." And I'm like, "Well, how's it going?" She's like, "Do you want to know the truth?" And I'm like, "Truth is always the best thing to tell, but you don't have to. It's your truth, your story. You hold it or you tell it. It's up to you." "I like that," she says. And she's like, "Yeah." And then she says his name. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know. And then I'm like, "Describe him." So she's telling me, I'm like, "Oh, that guy. Yep. He seems all right." She said, "Yeah, but he lies a lot." And I said, "Oh." She's like, "Yeah, but he's really nice." "Oh, okay, cool." All I said to her is, "Do what you gotta do for you." "Oh, that's all you're gonna tell me?" "That's all I can." I said, "Girl, I stopped driving people's fucking buses a couple months ago. I got my driver's license back at the age of fucking 50. I am not going to be steering anyone else's fucking emotional baggage. I said, I don't mean no disrespect to you. I said, but hey, I'm just being real. I said, I'm going to tell you. I said, I don't know your journey and I don't know what you're referring to when he says this is a lie or not. I said, I don't know. But if he makes you happy and you seem like you're happy with him, continue. If not, move on. I said, I'm going to give you one thing, one small piece of advice. Take it for whatever it's fucking worth. She said, oh, yeah, what's that? I said, girl, we all come with expiration dates. And I said, you got to do what's best for you and live your life however you fucking want to. And I said, and for people who love you, will love you no matter what choices you make, as long as you don't hurt yourself or anyone else. And I said, on that, my dear, I said, I'm going back inside. I got a peach crown with my name on it. So I'm walking past her and she says, so your birthday's next weekend. And I said, yep, well, technically it's on Tuesday, but yeah, what's going on? I'm going to be there. All right, sounds good. Bring your boyfriend. More the merrier. That simple conversation, I could have stirred her. I could have steered her into some weird fucking daydream and made it known where, I don't know what a lie is from the truth, okay? I'm not here to give advice to people about so and so and my love life. I don't have it in me anymore. I was kind enough. I talked to her. I empathized with her because I could relate. And that's why I feel like this is a perfect kickoff to my birthday week. Not necessarily, do I hope that, you know, I do hope it works out with her. She's a very nice girl. The guy that she is dating, I don't know him very well. I know of him. Seems to be okay. But again, I'm not driving anyone else's bus anymore. And that's probably the proudest thing I've done thus far. So here's another thing before we get on to this journey, and we're going to wrap it up on this week's episode on a pretty high note for me. One listener is enough. Impact beats numbers every time. And the reason why I say that is because I received an email and it was from a former tenant. And I've mentioned to her last week, and I'm not going to revisit it, and I'm not going to drive her narrative, and I'm not going to tell her story. And she wrote me an email because I encouraged her to listen to Pandora's Box. Not because I'm a guru, because I see things and the life experiences that I have had and am having is very relatable with everyone. And that email, the one that stops your breath, the one that says, I thought I was alone, Renaissance matters more than reach. Truth matters more than credentials. I don't speak because I'm certified. I speak because I survived. And fucking survival counts. In that email, it was brief, but she said a whole bunch of nice things about me. And so, I won't say your name, but if you're listening, here's to you. I'm glad you're here. And through my voice in this podcast, if I can reach one person to make that person realize that tomorrow is unknown, but today is meant to be lived, then I've done my job. The last thing I want to say about my journey and my witnessing is this. If you're waking up late, you're not late. If you're softening, you're not fucking weak. If you're taking a step back, girl, you are not selfish. Let's face it, we are evolving. My Pythians, it's always been a pleasure to do this podcast, and I will continue. In the week of my birthday, yes, I turned 51. Fun fact, I don't know if I said this or not. My mom, when she gave birth to me on January 13th, 1975, fun fact, I was born on 113 at the 1:13 p.m. hour. So if you guys on Tuesday want to have a sippity sip at 1:13 p.m., please do so. I'll do it for you too. Just give me your date of birth and I will definitely celebrate with you virtually. Is this my gala that I'm having on Saturday? It's a lot of tongue in cheek. I am cheeky. So cheeky. But that's what makes it fucking fun. From the color of my hair to the weird fucking shit. I mean, look at these glasses. My uncle actually said to me, Joy, where'd you get these glasses at? And I'm like, they're cheaters. My real glasses cost too much. And plus they're not that great. I mean, let's do a glass check. Here's these. Here's the work, Joy. See, boring. That's And here is the joy that everyone else sees when I'm not behind this desk in a working mode. So again, if anyone lives in the area, I am inviting anyone who'd like to come and enjoy, not just me. Yeah, it's a celebration of my birthday, but it's a celebration of fucking life in the right way. I was kicking around ideas, and I've said this last week, is what to call it, and landed on Pandora's Rebirth Gala. And yes, I will be showing up in a gown. Matter of fact, I was going to show you, but I'll show you the day after. I'm actually going to put some photos of my gala on my Pandora's Box, Just Joy Facebook. And then I have an Instagram account that I'll be putting on and TikTok, along with a few other social platforms that I'll be putting on to show you that it did go off. And I'm so geeked out about it. Like everybody that I've spoken to that has said that they're going to be there, they may not be wearing like prom dresses like I'm wearing an actual prom dress, I think. I don't know. It's gorgeous. They're either going to be in silk ties. One person actually said that he was going to show up in a pair of silk boxers. And you can imagine where he was going to put his bow tie. Okay, we won't go down that rabbit hole. But just saying. And then there's people that says, I'm going to wear a fucking dress. Awesome. And so any of you, it's open to the public. 8 o'clock next Saturday at the VFW in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. I would love to see everybody there. Or if you can't, then celebrate however the fuck you want to on the 17th at 8 o'clock. I'm in Central Time Zone. Anywhere else, celebrate. Pop the top, have a cup of coffee, do a fucking cigarette. Every day should be a celebration of life, just not when someone passes. But the twist here is the old Joy did. I was Joyce, and joy is my rebirth. So from me to you, just remember, we're all in this shit together. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just lace up, light up, and keep moving. The journey is rough, the waves are high, but this sailor's got your back. Say the weird thing and say it fucking loud. Come back next week. This is Pandora's Box, and I'm just fucking Joy. This episode is a witness of consciousness. And guess what? Old Vegas energy doesn't rush. Till next time.